You know, I was fortunate that I was on a Metro bus this afternoon. I was on a Route 40 vehicle ID number 9826 headed toward Fremont, north, that way. Anyway, and as I've explained to, well, people that know these things, as people with badges and guns and have the power to arrest people, typically, this is a typical thing. This happened on the 36 too, Route 36, numerous times, and on the E line, almost, well, invariably. What happens is you get a crew, I would say crew, but it's like a gang of junkies. They use dope, use heroin or crack cocaine or methamphetamines or any number of the constellation of drugs. So anyway, and they need money. They really, really need money. Because they don't work, all they do is use drugs. They just use dope. That's all they do. And I explained this to the FBI with a coded message I sent a couple of years ago. And what happens is the crew or gang of junkies, I call them junkies, simpler that way. Gotta keep it simple. Who have no regard for anything but their habit. Approach a driver and they say, and multiple times in multiple ways, I'm basically threatening your life and the life of your family and your dog and your house and everything you have or everything you will have unless you submit to our demand that you give us money on a regular basis. This is extortion 101. Right. It's a racket. Anyway, in addition to that, they'll, if they're not already using heroin, which they could be, they'll introduce them to the joys of junk. And they'll say, here's some heroin. This is how you use it. Isn't it so cool? Get that nice high. Anyway, they get the driver, assuming they get familiar with the driver, assuming the driver just doesn't tell them to go fuck off, which is what I would do. Then the junkies have one of their drivers in their pocket. Yeah. So the driver drives the bus and uses heroin and works and makes money and gives their money to the heroin pushers, of the people that deal drugs. And they give that out on a regular basis. But more importantly, they find ways to steal money. They find ways to steal money because that's what junkies do. They steal. They steal and they use drugs. They use dope. They use heroin. They use smack. They use skag. You know, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, this is such an evil, persistent, pernicious element in human society that I almost believe that humans will be extinct as humans after a while, unless someone doesn't offer some really radical, you know, solution. How to get people off dope? Yeah. I mean, that's the real issue. Dope. Dope drives people to do things like, well, commit crimes like murder and peddle child pornography and other bad things. Hurt people, hurt little animals. Anyway. So, this is Operations Officer Windfall. And good people, of course, know to stay away from junkies. And but unfortunately, you're in this planet, on this world, in this environment. You breathe the air, and you pretty much have to rub shoulders with junkies, especially in Seattle. Maybe also in Amsterdam, also in Copenhagen, also in Munich, particularly Munich. So the reason I've been doing this long and elaborate video is that I believe Yom Kippur is probably right around the corner. It's the most holy day in the Jewish calendar. I believe. I could be wrong. And there's also this subtle kind of hint that some bad people, who I call the unknowns, terrorists, I also call them Dairy Queens, but I won't tell you why, have desire to use something they built in Kurdistan, that is northern Iraq. They acquired nuclear material, enriched uranium, while Iran was running their centrifuges, and they're building themselves a bomb. And I think they're very close to completing it, maybe more than one, using North Korean technology. Also technology they got from Pakistan, India, probably the United States, if not France. So, if they use that bomb where I have reported it might be used, which I hope to God it isn't used that way. But if it is, and it is very close to the time frame of the start of Yom Kippur, then I think the world could basically blow up. That is, people would start killing each other in such a way as to make the whole world become, well, uninhabitable. Anyway, this is Operations Officer Windfall. I'm approaching my 5-year anniversary for working for the CIA. I was hired on October 5th, 2009. Work every day, and that's all I can say. Except, do your best, boys and girls. The good guys should win. One for the Gipper.